Welcome back. Welcome back. That was perfect. Oh my god.
I
Welcome
was
back.
saving
It was peak. It was right there at the top. It was waiting to come out. Welcome back to another episode of NostalgiaLand. Thank you again for joining us. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being here. As always, Tyler always mentions at the end of our skits and stuff to like, follow, leave a comment. We really want those comments. We really want some interactions. We really want to know what you guys want to listen to, want to hear us talk about, rave about, hate on, love on, put mustard on. I don't know. Just things from your
What
childhood,
was that
things you
last
liked,
one? Talk
loved.
about?
Mustard? What? Who? No. What? Felony. Yeah, we'd just love to hear what you want to talk. If there's a TV show you really liked, an episode you wanted to talk about or something, we did Hey Arnold. We've done some Legends of the Hidden Temple, which I think we should go back to because there's a couple of episodes I watched recently that were pretty funny to watch because how horrible these people did in them. But also, we just want to, make this show for you guys, with anyone listening who, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day and making us a part of your commute. Mostly a lot of listeners still on our Spotify and, listening to the audio only, but come check us out on our YouTube channel, NostalgiaLand.podcast, and our Instagram, also NostalgiaLand.podcast. But first things first, I gotta
make it easy.
What?
I said, well, doesn't that just make it convenient?
It's like it's the same name for both of them. I mean, you could only hope for the best stuff.
Really bad.
Oh yeah, we need to definitely
scene, but it looks really bad.
Perfect. Well, today we're doing 1999. Is that right? 99 Varsity Blues in honor of the dear James Vanderbeek.
R.I.P. baby. R.I.P.
Man, he was great. Really loved him.
Dawson, you will be missed.
Oh, was he the Dawson of Dawson? I thought he was.
Yes, he was Dawson. It was his creek.
Oh, I thought Charlie Conway was Dawson, but
no, he's freaking Paisy, dude.
Wait, did he?
Sorry, my Dawson Creek.
Yeah, did he also have?
I wasn't playing in the creek.
Yeah, he did have. He had his own pork rinds, but that was when he grew up. And
that's Bob Dawson.
Are those pork rinds? That's his dad. Okay,
that's how cousin Bob.
Yeah, that's how he owned that creek. That's why it was his creek. He sold.
Yeah, this guy probably grew up in this town in Texas. That's
easily. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get started, let's hear that wonderful bump and let's jam to it, man. Get it. I love when my family lets me know, hey, watch that episode. I was like, oh, great. So you know how big of an idiot I am on screen as well as in real life. This is perfect. So, yeah, man. This one, I think we just said it. I was like, you know what? This is really pretty good. It opens up. It's really cute. It's like them as kids, and he's telling his whole life story out there in Cannon, Texas.
He does
nowhere.
James Vanderbeek.
He's Canaan,
Texas.
He's Canaan. Yeah. And he's doing his thing, and I'm like,
he's like the only one in the movie that does a good accent for most of the movie.
Billy Bob's got a good one.
I mean, there are guys who have. I think that's their true accent. Like I feel like Billy Bob talk like that.
I think he is up there. Yeah,
the guy in real life, R.I.P. And they're like the brother does a good accent. The little brother that's so hysterically ridiculous throughout this entire movie. But there's a few people in this movie that I feel like the direction was do this poorly. It'll be awesome if you're really bad in this movie. We'll get to that later, but
I hope we do because I had some thoughts on that as well. I think when it opened up, I was like, "Oh, this is such a cute way to start the movie," and I thought this doesn't feel like an MTV production until all of a sudden it took a hard left turn and went,
until the whipped cream scene, and then it's the most MTV thing in the history of MTV things.
Well, I mean, dude, you saw this guy's tanked in the first 5 minutes of this film. Scott Caan, the guy who plays Tweeter, you saw a little cracking balls on the back of that dude, and it lingers on that shot.
I woke up at the crack of dawn to ask you a question.
Yeah,
man. I just had questions.
I think I could see what he ate for breakfast.
Yeah, you probably could, and what he had for lunch a week ago.
No, that was just the pig.
It was right up in there.
Oh yeah.
That's
good old bacon, baby.
Oh, bacon.
Well, the movie starts out, like I said, with that really cute scene where like he's like all nostalgic, like we are about. Oh, there's all my my brothers in arms. The way we play football. I watched this movie too many times. I'm adopting a Southern accent, and it's hurting now. And he's like, so he's looking at that picture, and you're like, oh, that's really nice. And then it pans out, and he's like laying down, kind of seductively across his bed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
the Beaks, man, he's a heartthrob.
Definitely. Meanwhile, half-naked brother who's tied himself to a cross is like standing right behind him.
Yeah. His brother is the most enigmatic character in this entire movie.
Look at you, enigmatic.
No purpose to this. Yeah, way to
just trying to make us feel stupid with his big words.
Well, a lot of people went to college for 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not even a doctor.
You are to us. You're
the closest any of us are going to get on that.
In my book.
Don't worry.
Dude, his brother's whole deal in this movie is he's just like trying on religion.
Yeah, man. He's searching for his soul out there.
Dude, I didn't know what to think or say about that because they gave no other explanation besides that, and they just like keep panning back to him.
You barely learn his name.
He's chosen something.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name. What is his name? I got nothing. Kyle?
Sure.
It's Kyle. Kyle
Moxon. His last name's Mox.
Yeah, it's Kyle Moxon, and I have no idea what his I barely remembered it, but he was in Nothing Good, Shiloh 2, The Fan, Beethoven's Fourth, The Nightmare.
It's bad when you're in Beethoven's Fourth.
And we're not talking about a symphony. We're just talking about
the dog movies.
He was also in Beethoven's Third. Exactly.
Okay, a little better. A little better.
A little further down the line.
I think those were both straight to DVD movies.
Yes, they were.
Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't recognize anyone in the cover of this. Let me just show you what this looks like, because for people listening, come over, check out our YouTube feed, because do you recognize anybody in this? That doesn't look like anyone I could mention.
I know that dog.
I seen that dog before.
That's Beethoven. Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Yeah.
Well, yeah, the kid kind of gives you a glimpse into what's happening with Mox. That's his whole point, where he's asking him if he's going to play tonight. And
Mox is like, dude, I don't play.
Yeah. Lance Harbor Lance Harbor is a 2-time All-State quarterback for the Coyotes, who they play for in East Canaan. And if you're not a sports fan, sports watcher, in Texas, high school football is king. I mean, they care about it above the NFL, above college football. I mean, it is God in Texas. These shots of the stadiums that they play in with the crowds, those are in Texas. Those are high school stadiums.
Those are probably inaccurate. The real ones are probably bigger.
No, these were at the time, these were filmed in actual high school stadiums in Texas. And these are small towns in Texas. These are not Houston and Dallas. These are little towns out in the middle of nowhere that they're struggling to survive, and all their money goes into building a stadium for these kids to play high school football. And I feel like it's very accurate to that area of the country when their fathers are reliving their glory days through their sons. And you get one of the most famous lines from the movie later on from that. But it's almost sad how their lives kind of peak in high school, in their senior year of high school, and for some of these guys, it's all downhill after that.
Yeah, watching this movie when I played high school sports, I was one of the scariest things. Oh shit, is this it? Is this the mountaintop? And I'm in it right now.
You're in
it. Scary to think.
See, you're from Miami, so there's lots of stuff going on. You're good to go.
We have other things.
I'm just saying. Nobody even knows that you're playing high school sports unless they know
basically
you.
About a guy who's super smart and likes football if it's pure. And his coach is the devil.
The good old John Voight.
Oh my God, Coach is this Satan? Oh, we forgot he was up here. I'm sorry. Just pull him back down a little bit.
Yes, Satan.
Yes, Satan. No.
And I think this movie is really carried by James Van Der Beek and John Voight the whole time.
Yes,
they're by far the best two actors in this movie at this time. I mean, you know, Paul Walker went on to have his success, and Scott Conn, he's great on Hawaii Five-0. He's a really good, really funny
He's in
character.
the Ocean movies too, right?
Scott Conn, yes, he is.
Yeah.
He plays one of the
And
fighting guys with one of the Affleck brothers.
But in this movie, I mean, nobody compares to those two. They're great. I think the next closest is
Billy Bob.
might be Mox's dad, as far as the level of acting.
Tweeter.
I think.
I mean,
yeah, but Tweeter, it's just like, hey, go out there and be retarded.
Yeah, well, and then Billy Bob, yes, he's like, well, and Amy Smart does a good job as Julie, like his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, I did not recognize Amy Smart until the second time I watched this movie. And
she's
I went,
so
oh my
cute.
god, that's Amy Smart. Yeah. Oh, I think she's
so
adorable
cute and pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have dated her
fresh.
over
Allie Lardner, Darcy,
the super whore.
Allie Lardner. She's in that new movie with Billy Bob Thornton.
The whoriest hooer that ever hooered. I mean, woo!
Well, somebody must have shut down their car parts factory in their town, and then they just came wallowing right out. Like, I watched this movie and I saw it, and I was like, dude, this should be called Varsity Blues, like, the worst town you could possibly live in, because these people are awful. Like, I know it's the 90s and it was like, boys will be boys kind of shit like that, but like they're literally like, one person's like, he's going to later on, he goes to a gas station, he grabs a Coke and he puts it on the counter. A guy behind the counter just reaches down under the counter, pulls out a 6-pack to a high schooler, puts it on the counter and goes, your money no good here, that was a good game tonight. He's just like, gee, thanks.
Dude, that's small town Texas, baby. Like, these kids are drinking like when they can see over the counter.
Bro, and then like you can't even begin to talk about like the negligence of what they did to poor Billy Bob.
I want to get into
oh my god.
We can talk about that, but
and I guarantee you that there are people out there that have stories and watch this movie and go, yeah, my high school coach was like that. And if you did that today, you would go to prison for so long. Like, you would go to so much jail.
Yeah.
So much jail.
Believe it or not, jail.
Just little, so much jail.
It reminds me of the dude from Parks and Rec, straight to jail.
Believe it or not, jail. Overcooked fish, undercooked chicken.
Yeah. Overcooked, overcooked, straight to jail.
You want to do anything else with your life? If you want to do anything else with your life besides play football, straight to jail. That's no
straight to jail. Right to jail.
Right to jail.
Believe it or not, right to jail.
Well, it's crazy that like because they're the stars of the high school football teams, like in the movie he says it as a joke, but it's like kind of true. Like they're like gods.
Yeah.
In their hometown.
Yeah.
Everybody's obsessed with Lance, who's Paul Walker's character, because he has a scholarship to Florida State, actually. So he got robbed of another quarterback. Dang it.
There you go.
There
Coach
it is.
Kilmer took our Heisman winner from us. That a-hole.
That's bitch.
Billy Bob took it from y'all. That's what happened.
No way. It's Kilmer's fault all the way. Well, let's get into that real quick, because they play the first game and Billy Bob's out front leading the block, and at the end of the run, he takes on two guys at the same time, and both of them hit him in the helmet with their helmets and knock him out cold. So he's laying on the ground, and they come over and smelling salt him, and the trainer holds up 2 fingers and says, Billy Bob, how many fingers am I holding up? Well, first he wakes up and says, did we score? And they say, yeah, we scored. But how many fingers am I holding up? And Billy Bob says, 3. And James Vanderbeek Mox says, no, it's got to be true or false, because he's so stupid to begin with that he can't tell you fingers. So he says, is he holding up fingers? And you hear the guess in his voice where he says, true? And he's like, he's all right, coach. And they pick him up, and you can tell immediately that he is just not right.
Yeah.
And then they're in school later that week or the next week, and Billy Bob excuses himself to go to the bathroom, covers him, and it's like a whole funny scene with the weird teacher, the sexy teacher that comes back later, and
I got thoughts about her.
And she wants to talk about the male erection and normalizing or getting away from the popular vernacular for it, and there's this. It's a funny scene, especially as a teenage boy. You would love this scene, and then it cuts to Billy Bob, and it's so real. It's so funny because it's such a ridiculous, goofy scene to Billy Bob really struggling in the bathroom, freaking out, putting water on his face. He obviously does not look well. Comes back from the bathroom, and she says, "You okay, Billy Bob?" "Yes, ma'am." And then he goes to sit down and just collapses onto the floor.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Jesus, is this dude dead? Like, what's happening?
Earlier in the movie, Billy Bob's concussions are played for comedy, and then you see how it, like, makes a difference because it causes Lance to get hurt.
Yeah.
But if you weren't putting this kid with
Well,
8
they go to
types
the
of
nurse.
CTE out there.
Yeah. They go to the nurse, and the nurse tells Billy Bob, "You shouldn't play tonight." You know, and who comes to the nurse's office? His parents? No. Coach Kilmer.
Coach Kilmer
shows up.
He has parents. I think he's like a,
I think
he's
like
you
never see Billy Bob's parents.
It also
He's a
doesn't help that
feral-
he drinks himself into oblivion.
yeah. No, but I think he's like a feral hog child that lives somewhere out in the boonies, and like I didn't realize you could get
he's
this
got
big.
parents. Look at the truck he drives, man. He's got
Yeah,
parents.
but how
Somebody
how
bought
do
that
you
truck?
like how do you get this big in this small town? I didn't think there's enough food there to actually make that physically possible. This dude,
He owns a pig. He probably
massive.
raises his pigs
and eats them.
And eats them with him. That's true.
Yeah. Well, and Trey's right, because the night he gets knocked out and the concussion problem really starts, he goes out that night and drinks so much he vomits it and fills up a washing machine.
Rally.
Then he tells them that if they're hungry, he left some whole hot dogs in there for them. But then they go out onto the field and he tells Coach Kilmer in that scene, the nurse says that I should play tonight. I'm having trouble holding food down, and she's saying because I got hit in the head, I shouldn't play.
Yeah.
And then his response is, well, she doesn't have a division title to win, does she?
Yeah,
like,
a district.
Wow.
Not even a district.
Or district title.
Not
Yeah.
even a state title. He's worried about his district title because it like sets a record, I think.
Yeah, it says 23rd district title, or district title.
Dude.
Well, then so they go into the game, and they're in a big moment in the game, Billy Bob is on oxygen on the sidelines, struggling to keep himself going, and Kilmer goes over to him and tells him to get back out there. We need you. And he goes out and gets in his 3-point stance and just collapses as soon as the ball snapped and passes out on the field. And what we didn't talk about, too, is before this, Mox is in the locker room, and he looks into the training room, and he sees them injecting Lance Harbor's knee with pain medication so that he can play.
Worst injection ever, by the way. Like, that wouldn't have done anything.
Where was he putting that?
In the skin. They didn't even It's not in the joint.
It's just like,
there you go.
I couldn't. Yeah, I was looking at the way. I was like, "What angle are you going at?" Like,
I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be.
Is it supposed to be steroids or
Well,
saline?
that's the thing. Steroids are Toradol, maybe, but steroid usually is white. Like it's like a almost like a chalky substance.
This guy.
Yeah.
So medical.
And you typically cut it with like a anesthetic, like lidocaine or something like that.
Is everyone taking notes? Yeah.
I was
everyone
just
taking notes. We got to take notes.
In my head, I'm going, even if you're trying to make him play, that's not how that works.
Obviously, they did not have a doctor on set to advise them.
Obviously, they weren't doctors at all.
Whose method was more effective when he tells Tweeter, "You got any? My knee's killing me," and he flips him Vicodin. Like, here you go. Like, flips him who's selling this kid Vicodin?
No, I think that's the thing is he's getting them from the trainers in there. Like, because he says 500 milligrams, awesome. How many can I take? And he says, keep the whole thing. I've got more at home. Like, and so somebody's supplying them.
They're talking.
It's definitely that main trainer. The guy who's trying to shoot him up.
So they're injecting Lance's knee, and Mox sees it. And Voight comes over, Coach Kilmer, and shuts the door in his face. Slowly looking at him like, "Don't you dare say a word." And when they go out onto the field, Mox is telling Billy Bob, like, if you're not okay, take yourself out, sit down. And Voight comes over and tells him, "Get your ass back on the bench, boy." And shuts it all down,
Go read
and that's
your
when
book.
Billy Bob passes out from his concussions, and the defense gets through. They hit Lance, and they blow his whole knee up, and he screams like his leg just got ripped off. I mean, it's horrible. And even the announcers are talking about how they've never heard this stadium this quiet before and all this stuff. And
he screams like he's going to star in 6 Fast and the Furious movies. Sorry.
I think,
or
7.
I think what they're supposed to be injecting with is cortisone. I think cortisone can be clear. Yeah, it can be. Okay, maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
Sure.
I'll
take your word for it.
I believe
yeah, but he's masking, like, they're masking his symptoms. So he probably had tears from before, and he's playing through stuff. And he just obliterates his knee, and it cuts to the hospital after Mox goes in and wins the game for him. And the doctor says, you know, I had to go in there and clean about, 20 minutes worth of scar tissue out of that knee. I don't know how he was standing, let alone playing. And the coach is like, never said anything to me.
And I thought that scene is super poignant too, because it shows the dynamic between Mox and Kilmer, where Mox is there because he's there to support his friend, and his girlfriend is Lance's little sister. And as soon as Kilmer says he never said anything to me, he turns to Mox and says, you go home. They're all right. This is a family thing. Yeah, go get yourself a shower, because he knows that Mox saw the injection earlier, and he doesn't want him standing there ratting him out. Get out of here, boy.
Hanging out.
And Mox at this time is the guy, because he came in and won the game, and he's getting a taste of, I like kind of being the guy.
Well, it's just kind of starting a little bit at this point, and this is where the hooer of all hoors makes her move.
Hold on. Before we get to her, I want to step back real quick, because of the dumbassity of the people in this hallway standing around, where they're like, oh yeah, his leg was like turned backwards in half, and there's so like 20 layers of scar tissue to get through. They all have the audacity to turn and look at him and be like, well, can he play next game? We got a game next week. And he's like, and the doctor, the surgeon, looks like right at him. He's like, no, he's like,
he can't walk
out
next week.
He can't. Yeah, and they're like, but doctor, what if he like tries really hard? Can you think he could? No, his knee doesn't, like, you know how knees like fold like that? His doesn't do this. His does this inverted. And they're still like, but what if he's trying? Like, really, we got game and scholarship and stuff, and you're just son of a bitch.
And we could talk about that now, because that's his dad.
Yeah,
that's Lance's dad.
Father.
And before that, he's the one in this movie that I think the director said, hey, how bad can you deliver your lines? Let's do it that way. Because he's horrible. And his accent is out of control.
The laugh that he gives when they're doing the competition.
Yeah, like William Tell
barbecue after Mox in the first game gets caught reading a book under his playbook during a game by
dumbass. We're playing football.
He wants to go to Brown. He's really smart. He's like valedictorian of their high school, basically. And they cut to this barbecue because Mox's dad and Lance's dad played football in high school together for the same coach, because this guy's been there since Nam. And they're arguing about, if Kilmer wasn't such a prick, my son would be starting. And Lance's dad gets mad. And Paul Walker's like, yeah, Dad, I love football. Here, go out. I'll throw you a pass. And Mox is actually probably better than Lance, but he doesn't want to play for Kilmer because he hates him. Yeah. So they're doing this competition where the dad puts a beer can on his head and he's like, hit it, Lance. And Lance throws and hits the beer can. And he goes, like he looks like an evil clown.
I got it for you. Let's hear.
Let's show them what it takes to start for Kilmer's Coyotes.
Stop it,
listen to that accent.
What was that?
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. And this whole scene, I don't know how much we're gonna play of it, but after Lance goes and then they start goading Mox into doing it.
Yeah.
And it's cutting between that dad saying ridiculous things in his accent, the little brother saying like, he sucks, and then Mox's mom going, "You can do it!" in his crazy accent over and over again.
Clearly, none of these people, except for maybe Billy Bob, is from anywhere near Texas. I think this guy might be from Ireland, and Coyote just kind of fell out of him. Just want to hear that one more time. Let me hear
Mox
that
has
one
a
more
good
time.
accent.
His accent as well. But this guy,
Stop it, Dad. This isn't.
Kilmer's Coyotes.
Stop it, Dad. This
Kilmer's
Start for
cow.
Kilmer's Coyotes.
isn't. Stop it, Dad. This isn't funny.
Knock off his ear can. Show him what you're made of.
Come on, Lance. Nail the can. Nail it.
got it.
You up, Sammy boy?
Show what you made
He
of.
sounds like the clown from Happy Gilmore when
He does.
they're at Putt Putt.
Yes,
He keeps
yeah.
hitting him in the teeth.
He does.
You're gonna die.
So
Carl.
bad, man.
Then what's
That's
it?
the worst scene in the whole movie. This
And then-
scene right here is the worst scene in the whole movie.
When
It
now
ends
it's
well.
This is stupid. Throw it.
God, dude, like the
Listen to that.
Two now.
For your winner.
Sporting some dude now.
She's drunk as hell.
Sit on the bed. Show us what you do best.
He's chicken.
Yeah, he is a chicken.
dude, these are adults, by the way. This is the town's adults.
Feel like chicken tonight?
Yeah.
Midnight.
I raised you to be a winner. So damn it, boy, win. Fire that fucking pig skin.
Jeez.
Yep.
Got
Hard
that.
F-bomb.
Wham.
Nice.
The whole screen goes red.
That's a sweet POV shot right there.
That's
That's when you
red,
die in
dude.
Goldeneye.
I love that like I love they have this callback for the
Headshot.
rest of the movie that like Mox realizes, oh, I could just beam people and I can get
That's
time on the clock. I can
That's
get my
one of
dad
my
to shut
favorite
up.
running gags. One,
Yes.
it's intentional grounding. You could never get away with that. But
Can't do that now, yeah.
yeah, you would just spike the ball into the. Oh, ow! Sorry, I just lit up my microphone stand with my fist.
There it is. Just gotta punch something, man.
You would just spike the ball into the ground. One, because it's faster, and two, because you would take penalty. But
I
he
gotta-
just lights up mascots.
yes,
He wants
just
to
lighting them
mark
up,
them all.
including a guy on a horse. I was like, dude, that could be like labeled assault, like because I mean that's like
No, you
obvious
accepted
risk.
the risk. You accepted the risk. Balls may be leaving the field of play.
That's true. That's a good point. It's a good point, trainer. I follow. I'd hire you. You can be my lawyer when I throw a football at a horse.
Your Honor, my client.
Y'all, big city suspenders in there.
That's where
Yeah.
that's how I'd have
Your
to talk
Honor.
if I was your lawyer in this town. Like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah.
Well, the juror, a little bit.
Of the
It's like,
juror.
what's his name from South Park? The guy who does Mr. Hand or whatever. He's like, okay,
Mr. Matt Harrison.
Garrison of the juror. Okay. My client did not hurl a football at the man on the hole.
Okay.
He threw it at the bumblebee, and we all okay. And we go coyotes. Okay.
I love how whenever he throws them at the thing at the mascots too, his mascot's always like, "Yeah!" He's super excited about it.
Didn't hit me in the face. I don't care.
But
Oh
that's
yeah,
when
so
we get
so
to the
then you
hooer.
have them in the hospital and the dad. Well, and as soon as the scream comes out when he gets hit on the field, it cuts to the dad, and the dad says, "No, God, please don't let this happen to me."
Yeah.
It's all about him
Me.
and
dude.
him losing his son losing his ride to Florida
Yeah.
State and his career.
I could care less about the
Well, then-
boy. Just
Then you got Mox who leaves after he's told by Kilmer, and then the girlfriend, the blonde girl, what's her name? Darcy.
Daphne?
Darcy.
Darcy.
Yeah, Darcy says,
yes.
I better go too since this is a
Darcy.
family thing. And even in these lines that she's delivering, you're already getting the idea that this girl is it's like the target
Oh.
has shifted.
Yeah.
And now she's following Mox out the hospital.
She's on the
locking in
hunt.
like a Terminator. She's
Yeah,
like,
she's like a pack of wolves in one person.
look for a way out of this town.
Looking
And so
acquiring
Mox is
starting
driving her
quarterback.
home, and Mox is very, very upset, very depressed about Lance being hurt, but he's torn because he enjoyed so much being the hero of the game. And you could see the internal struggle in him.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, she's undressing in the passenger seat of his car. And it's just, this is
go-
unbelievable.
To go
Like,
to the after party because they won the game.
right. Exactly.
I gotta pass up a
That's
good
the
appetite.
quickest surgery, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. This guy had apparently a 3-hour surgery before this after party started. That game started at what, 6, 7 o'clock at night? He got hurt in the second half.
Listen, this far out.
That's a quick OR time.
This far out in the country.
That surgeon was at the game and saw him go down. And went, shit, I better go scrub it.
He started washing his hands at the field.
Yeah, no.
They started the surgery in the ambulance, like scalpel.
I kind of thought, I was like, this far out in the country, man, surgery is duct tape and hot glue, man. Just like throw this together, get some.
You get a lot of really good, like just out of medical school students sometimes who operate at those rural hospitals. So your surgeons could be pretty good. They do it because you have to be able to do everything. Like,
yeah,
you can't be like, oh, well, I only do shoulder or I only do ankle. No, you do bone. You do bone and
fix.
Yeah, you do bone and squishy joint part. That's what you do.
You make fix.
Make better now.
Make it flip the right way.
Yeah,
the right way.
Here, knife.
Yeah. Here's a knife and some clamps. Get to work.
Get in there. It's a good old smack on the ass, kind of like, get in there.
Yeah. Well, and this girl is throwing herself at Mox, and
dude, it's uncomfortable.
She's saying, you don't always have to do the right thing. Oh, and she says it twice in like a 5-minute car ride. Things change, Mox. What about you and Jules? Because she's like, Lance will be all right. He'll recover. She's like, his career's probably over. Things change, Mox. And then she asks, what about you and Jules? And he says, I love spending time with her, but she's got another year after this before she graduates. But who knows, I might love her. I'm not sure. Things change, Mox. Yeah. Like, what the hell, dude?
I get
it. And then when she gets out of the car, she leans back in. She says, this could happen anytime. Like, oh my gosh. Dude, we just left the hospital with one of my best friends.
Under anesthesia. He's still under anesthesia, dude. Like, let him wake up. Like, give him a minute. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, that's Allie. That's Allie Larder. She's now plays Angela Norris in Landman, which I've heard people talk about.
That's the Billy Bob Thornton show, right?
Yeah.
So supposedly the show's awesome. I gotta watch it.
I haven't checked it. I watched one episode, but I didn't get too much into it. But yeah, so she's been around. She's also in she's been around. Final Destination 1 and 2, Legally, she was in Legally Blonde and Obsessed, The Rookie, the television show. And man, she's been working on stuff, but the way that they pawn her in this movie, it's like, dude, like you couldn't have created a worse human being.
Well, and I think that these are kind of stereotypical people from these small towns, and she's just ramped up to 1,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's they got her turned up to 11.
Turn that dial.
Because she is just in hyperspeed. She's gone to plaid. For those of you who've seen Spaceballs. But I'm sure there are maybe, especially back in the day, there were women that saw these star athletes as their way out of these podunk towns. They're going to ride their coattails right on out of here.
It doesn't have to be a podunk town. It just has to be, I don't have any transferable skills.
Yeah. Well, and then it's kind of sad with her because later on when she tries to seduce him and he's falling for it and he ends up stopping it, and then that's the famous whipped cream bikini scene where they used shaving cream to mimic whipped cream.
I will say the funny part about that scene, the best line is when they sit on the couch and she's like crying and he's like, who'd thought? She's like, who'd have thought what? He's like, whipped cream bikini usually gets me every time.
Yeah, seriously. But he like after that scene, we'll come back. But after that scene,
please come back.
He's talking about Jules he's talking to Jules because for some weird reason in the hallway when they're talking about how
they're just friends now.
Yeah, this changed our relationship, and she doesn't want it to be weird, and she kind of apologized to him because he's given her like you can get yourself out of here. You're a smart person. Like, you don't need to stay here. You can go somewhere. And then she makes out with him like awkward. Like, what is happening? What, like, we just talked about how we weren't going to do anything, and now we're like kissing like we're together.
And he's just kind of standing there like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and he's like, okay. And right in front of Jules, his girlfriend. but they talk about how like she's really smart, Darcy, and
Yeah.
you know, she can get herself out. She doesn't need to be with a man to get herself out.
Well, and I think just from a character standpoint, I want to talk about just a second about Moxon's character and how he's supposed to be the tried and true blue hero, right? Like he's supposed to be honest, brave, smart, you know, compassionate, all these things. And how weird they kept playing this line of like, okay, there's getting after he wins the game and he starts getting, you know, a kind of a big head about himself. They keep writing this line between like, okay, but is he actually a decent person inside? Because he does stop at the tank at the whipped cream bikini, which I have to ask, what brand of whipped cream was that? Because that stayed on
It's shaving cream.
everywhere. Oh, perfect.
It's Barbitol.
Yeah, in the behind the
good to know.
scenes stuff that I always try to find, they talk about how they had to use shaving cream because whipped cream kept melting too fast.
That's what I imagine. I mean, anyways.
Oh, that had to be
I had
fun for the
I had a
actress
buddy that I was
find that
talking
out.
to. I had a buddy that I was talking to today about how we were going to do this movie in honor of James Vanderbeek, and he said, "Oh man, one of you guys should totally just show up on the podcast wearing the whipped cream bikini."
Nobody wants to see it.
And I said, "We can't. The lights are too hot. It'll melt it right away."
Nobody
Right
wants to
away.
see it. They did
And
do a good
also-
spoof of it in Not Another Teen Movie where Chris Evans comes out in underwear with a banana. He's in a banana split. It's not ice cream sundae.
I mean, you gotta ask who did it better. Look at Captain America himself, man, just in it. In the whipped
So
cream
ridiculous.
bikini, dude. That thing is it's age restricted is what it is. I can't even click on
It's
the
funny.
image and
It's
make
like
it bigger.
if this was made today, it's like, is this scene just for the male? Like if they made it today, it'd be like just for the male gaze. Is this empowering? It depends on who you ask.
Well, you know, yeah, a little empowering. Dude, there's some stuff from Not Another Teen Movie in this movie that I realized, that's where they got it. I didn't realize
most of Not Another Teen Movie is Varsity Blues.
Yes, a lot of it is, dude. It's
With a little
so
bit
funny,
of like
dude.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
And, she's all that.
And
Yeah.
she's all that, yeah. And I think Clueless, a little bit of Clueless in there. So
Probably.
they do like the makeover on her, and she goes from being pretty, and all they do is
Well,
she takes off his glasses. And
that's
she
she's
takes
all
out her-
that. right?
Okay. Oh, is
Mhm.
that it? Okay.
Yeah.
They take off her glasses. They take out her ponytail, and she's like, "There, done. You're hot."
Yeah,
I think
so hot.
if they tried to make something like this today, it would probably be like a series, not a movie. It would
Yeah,
be
kind of like a Friday
almost
Night
like
Lights.
they did with Friday Night Lights. Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that what
I agree.
Blue Mountain State was though, with that super jacked guy who's hilarious?
Jack
in there?
Reacher.
Yeah, he plays Reacher. Is that right?
Yeah,
It's
but
not
Blue
quite
Mountain,
Varsity Blues,
Blue
'cause
Mountain
that's-
State's more of a comedy. More
One,
of,
they're in
like,
college, so it's like a
Okay.
frat football team.
Yeah.
But the
Okay, so-
premise is similar. You have a backup quarterback that's super talented that doesn't want to be the starter. In Blue Mountain State, the main character, doesn't want to start because he doesn't want to get hurt, and he just wants to be the backup because people still love the backup quarterback, but you don't have to get any of the blame if the team loses.
Oh, that's a very good point.
But you don't want to be the third string quarterback because the third string quarterback is like a loser that doesn't get invited to parties. and things like that.
So, but Vanderbeek's character though, so like I was saying, he's supposed to be the hero. Mox. He's supposed to be the guiding light in this movie, right? But then he has these moments, and there's just a couple of them where he invites everyone, just a little group of his main guys, Tweeter, Billy Bob, and
well, Lance and
Wendell.
Wade?
Wendell, and they invite him out to go to the strip club. And I kept thinking, I was like, this town is not that big, so there is not multiple a strip club. And B, you are not hiding being a stripper in a town this size, dude.
Well,
There's
he
no
even
like,
says-
I wonder what she does for her night.
He even
job. What is
says
that?
after one of
No.
their games, she says, "Great game, Mox," and drives away. And he goes, "That's a nice car for a teacher's salary."
Yeah, talking about the teacher that was mentioned earlier in the movie,
Which we have taught Miss Davis is played by Tony Perensky, and I mean I'll be just honest but very polite. Wow, and
she's a very pretty lady.
The other part of it too is making me realize this is why we don't want to pay teacher salaries like a livable salary, because people in this government just want them to turn into strippers like in Varsity Blues. That's what they're hoping for. We're not a political show. That's just going to be my political opinion on that.
I guess they never met a lot of my teachers, because you don't want that happening.
That's a lot of my teachers.
You don't want that happening,
dude. But she's such a horrible cliche of like hot for teacher, like Poison, or what's the other one? Megadeth, is that right? Yeah. Van Halen, yes. And when you see her on the screen, like it's immediate that you're like, oh, she's gonna do something weirdly sexual. And that's exactly how it turns out. And she added nothing to the momentum of this story.
It's for the late 90s horny teenage boys that they were trying to get to go see this movie.
This was before GSL.
The one that played at like 1:30 in the morning on HBO.
Here's some boobs. There's boobs and there's butts swinging around. And I love how they took it and they didn't just leave her up there dancing. The strippers up there, like Billy Bob gets up and takes his shirt off and makes it hysterically funny. Yeah, and that's one of the funniest moments in the whole movie.
He got a hug too. That didn't look scripted either. He reached out. He reached out, and the stripper girl kind of was like, "Oh, we not cut. Okay, yeah, all right." And
I'll hug you.
Like, I'll get a hug.
But yeah, when he's sitting there and the teacher's dancing, and then the teacher comes over and sits with them.
Yeah.
Now dressed. And she's basically like talking about how she's embarrassed and she didn't want the students to find out and everything. And Tweeter's telling her that it was like a 9.5, and then it comes to Billy Bob and he's like, I give it a 10, 10. And then they continue to talk and it cuts back over to him again and he's just like, a 10. He's stuck. He's just stuck on the 10.
And the best is later on in the movie, she approaches the four of them and she says,
it's just Moxon and Billy Bob.
No, and the running back and
Wendell.
Yeah.
And she says, we're not going to tell anybody, right? And Mox and Wendell both say, relax, we made a pact not to tell anybody. She looks at Billy Bob and he's like, Ms. Davis, you go to prom with me?
And now we have to get down to the nitty gritty of this movie.
The grit.
And
yes.
What an awful, horrific person Coach Kilmer is throughout the entire movie. How he just berates Moxley. He loves Billy Bob until Billy Bob gets a concussion and he forces him out onto the field. Then it costs him Lance. Now he hates Billy Bob and he treats Billy Bob like crap.
Yeah.
And then when they go out drinking, they come back and they lose a game because they're all hungover. And they're playing against Grambling, who is they're a terrible team, but they're so hungover that they're just garbage. But there's the whole scene with Wendell where he says, Mox, how many yards do you think I average a game? He says, I don't know, 100. He's like 133 yards a game, which is crazy to average 133 yards a game.
Yeah,
and he says, how many touchdowns do I have? I have 4.
Or was it 4 or 3? I thought it was 3.
And he says, and 2 of those I had to break 20-yard runs to get them because Kilmer is a racist piece of shit who won't put me in the end zone. And he wouldn't. You think he'll call A&M or Texas Tech for me? Hell no. My mom's doing my recruiting. She's got Grambling State or whoever it was coming to look at me.
Yeah, Grambling was right.
Yeah. So the team that they lost to wasn't Grambling. That's what it was. But just at every turn, he is the worst. He is the worst person.
He's
shooting up Lance.
Yeah,
he's shooting up Lance. And after the game, he comes in. It's that first game, and he Wendell's on the table, and he's kind of rubbing his knee, and he says, "How you doing? That was some pretty good running." Like, okay. And then he's like, "Yeah, it was decent. How you feeling?" And he says, "Oh, it's my knee, coach. It's killing me. Don't show weakness." Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is just the worst person.
The guy's the epitome of like rub dirt on it.
Yeah, just he's horrible. It's all about him and his records.
Just go to bed.
Yeah. You're not even talking about like the worst part of the way he interacts with Wendell. He does not call him son or Wendell. He calls him boy with a capital segregated bathrooms be, dude. That thing, like he is saying that, like I remember the good old days, boy. And it's hard, even for John Voight, which like you have to applaud. Like I hate you, John Voight, in this movie. Good job, because that's fantastic acting. Like you and Dawson's Creek over there are carrying this film, because I know more about Tweeter's ass than I do about where this storyline is supposed to be like inspiring me. But the way he calls it on there, I mean, it's just like, oh God, that hurts, dude. Like that's
it's as close as he can get to dropping N-bombs without dropping N-bombs.
Yes, thank you. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's rough, bro. Like I can't get past it. So horrible human being, only cares about his title, only cares about his states. But he's like,
and when they lose the game, he comes in and Billy Bob starts to cry because he cares so much, and he feels so guilty about Lance being hurt.
He's gonna kill himself.
Well, yeah, he's blamed earlier in the movie for Lance being out, even though it's Kilmer's fault that he was in there. And he starts to cry, and Kilmer comes down on him, and you're like, you're fat ass crying. I don't want to hear it. Get your fat ass out of here, and basically throws him out. And that's when Mox goes home, and him and his dad get into it, because his dad is like just such a piece of shit, because he's like, he wants to talk to him about the game and rip into him, and he's like, Dad, shut up.
That's
like,
what I've been saying, dude.
Yeah,
you suck
Varsity
at football.
Blues.
Sucks to suck, bro.
Worst town like you could have ever come from, dude.
Yeah.
Like colon
and
awful.
And in the middle of their argument, the hilarious Kyle, the younger son, comes in one of his different religious phases. Who knows where he's at this point? Go watch the movie to see those. We don't have time to touch on everything, but he just shows up randomly as a different religious. At one point, he comes in and he's a cult leader, and there's a bunch of little kids with him. And the funniest part of the whole thing with the kid, with the little brother, to me, is how the mom is so supportive of everything that he does.
That's nice.
Yes, she's like, that's nice.
So
oh my God,
sweet. That's so great. She is hammered. She is hammered this entire
probably
movie,
the whole time.
But that argument's where you get the quotable movie line from.
Is it that one, or is it the one? I thought it was the Brown letter. No, it is that. You're right. It is
there
that
where he says, "You're playing varsity football for Coach Kilmer. It's the opportunity of a lifetime." And he says, "No, Dad. Playing varsity football was the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life." Yo,
and it's so hysterical how that's the line that stands out of the whole movie so much, and it's so poorly delivered.
Yeah,
I don't want.
It's probably his worst scene in the movie, because he has
it
some
really
good
is.
ones. And like the speech that he gives later in the movie when they finally stand up to Kilmer is way better.
Yeah, in the locker room,
better.
Mm-hmm.
Way
100%,
better. Yeah,
100%. It's so good. It's so good.
But it looks really bad.
I need you to recut that and be like, it's a cool scene, but it sounds really bad.
It's a cool scene.
His brother has
but
bacon.
It sounds really bad.
Thank you.
His brother has bacon, and Mox says, "What the hell's Bacon doing here?" He says, "Billy Bob brought him over." Why? He said you'd know how to take care of him, and Mox is like, "Oh shoot."
Well, yeah, he gets terrified. And that's where those are the great acting moments to me, where you can see it in his face instantly. He knows something is really, really wrong, and he takes off out of the house to go find good old Billy Bob. Man, I love Billy Bob. I wish I was friends with Billy Bob.
Parked in the middle of their game field with his football trophies, a bottle of whiskey, and a shotgun, and is throwing his trophies onto the floor, taking a swig of whiskey, cocking the shot, pumping the shotgun, and blowing the trophy away.
So somebody gave that boy a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I bet he didn't have to pay for it because he's part of the football team and he did good. Here you go. Drive out there.
No, not that week. That week you'd have to pay for it because they lost.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I imagine there's multiple bottles laying around somewhere, dude. Like,
in the floorboards of his truck.
That's right. He was doing peanut butter
Percocet bottles.
Yeah, what was he doing?
Peanut butter syrup shooters at the beginning of the movie.
With Eggo waffles, isn't that right? I thought it was like an Eggo peanut butter scoop. I was like, that looked kind of good.
11 might look
good. I might try that. Yeah.
11, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need a Stranger Things update from Trader. Trader, how far are you now in Stranger Things?
Finished season 3. Great season. Really liked it. Got to hear the never-ending story bit finally, and
So
put it in
good.
context.
Yes.
Man,
Man,
super.
Come on, Dusty Bun.
Yeah,
Come on.
Susie Poo.
Never-ending story.
I need to hear it. Not now, Susie
now.
Poo. Yes, Dusty Bun.
Because she thinks he's just full of crap. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
important. Like, you just don't want to talk on the radio.
Yeah, because
how
he's
else
not
do you-
telling her, and she wouldn't believe him if he told her.
How else do you get a girl on the phone and talk to her without it being like life or death situation? I don't know how. Man.
To ask her what Planck's constant is. Anyway, so he finds Billy Bob, and he has this emotional scene where Mox is basically telling him, screw it, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just a district title. And he's like, I care. Kilmer treated me like a son. He was the first one to tell me that I wasn't just too fat and too slow and too dumb. And he basically tells him, it's my fault. Lance got hurt. He's, no, it's not. It's Kilmer's fault.
It's Kilmer's
It's all
fault.
on Kilmer. And Billy Bob starts to see, oh, wait, maybe it is. He made me play through a concussion. He made Lance play hurt. And so he basically tells Billy Bob, look, we got one game left. And I need you because who else is going to protect me? If you're not there, I'm going to die out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because it cuts to them in school the next day, and Billy Bob comes up behind him at the locker, and he goes, hey, they scanned my cat. I can play. And Mox goes, scan your cat. You got a CAT scan.
And then he says you have a brain. They found a brain in there.
They found a human brain in there, and it actually works. And
That's the line.
I got to decode your stupid. 1 second again.
I love that line so
they
much.
gave you a
They
cat
scanned
scan.
my cat. I love that so much.
They scanned my cat. I'm cleared to play.
Meanwhile, Vanderbeek gets home and he's like, "Oh, this letter came for you. Not today, yesterday." And
you know that
puts it up
letter you've been waiting all year for,
like your whole 4 years that you've been working towards, like an actual future. Because everyone cares where you played high school football, but no. So he like opens it up. He's reading it. And he first of all he finds out I'm in Brown University. And I have a complete full financial scholarship. And his dad goes, that's great and all, but tonight, Gilroy, we got to talk about the game. Like that's totally fine. But what's really important, we got high school football to win tonight. And you're not, I just told you I got to an amazing school.
Your pussy school talk. Okay.
Because all the shitty dads from the town have had like a backroom meeting with him about how is Mox going to follow the game plan and is he going to
run the ball, fall in line.
Just worried about Kilmer social, just worried about his social status is all it is, man. It's crazy. Like that blew my mind that there was no redeemable quality at all. Like in that dad's character.
Everybody in the town is scared of him.
Oh, okay.
Because he was their football coach and he was the big mean football coach.
No, not Kilmer, his dad. I said
he's saying like still all the dads are afraid of Kilmer.
Like when Tweeter steals their state trooper car and rides around naked in it with other people after they win Mox's first game. The state troopers are talking about it at the bar the next day, and the coach is eating lunch behind them and they don't see him.
Yeah.
And he says, these kids are out of control. I'm actually going to have to stop looking the other way and do something about it. And the coach clears his throat and says, my boys beginning to be too much for you? No, coach. They're just boys. Like, dude, that's like 8 felonies. And he stole a cop car and drove it drunk.
And even when he's driving, he goes, oh, shit, I'm going to jail.
Oh, shit, I'm going to jail.
I do like the part, too, where they make fun of the guy who was the class of 89, and it's 1999. He's still going to high school parties. And then,
dude, he's class of 80.
Oh, 80.
80,
so it's
not
29 years. In
something like that. 19 years later.
And he says, now say, I'm an idiot and I'm about to get hit in the nuts. That's a football.
Tweeter hits him so hard in the balls. It's freaking awesome.
That's quite literally like one of their dads showing them, be like, "Hey, can I have a party with your high school girls?"
It's Steve Buscemi. It's the hey, other high school children.
Yes, hello, fellow students, fellow young people. That's
so funny.
This dude's balding too. It's not a pretty like, oh, he's still got, it looks, no. He's
Dude,
clearly
it'd be like
over.
if I was showing up to high school parties.
Don't do that. Just don't do
No.
that. None of us should do any
I don't
of
even
that.
show up to grown people parties.
Wait, who's going to be there? No, I'm not coming. Anyone else? No, I'm not doing
What time does it start? Do I have to parallel park?
Yeah.
Will there be loud music?
I'm not doing that. Nothing
Do the
scares me
chickens
more.
have large talons.
That's
Large
it.
talons.
Nothing scares me more during like eating brunch on a patio and suddenly someone starts setting up a DJ booth. Like, no, son of a
Is this a jazz brunch?
it's just uncomfortable.
So the climax of the movie is they get to the district championship game, and Mox at the beginning has to follow the game plan because Kilmer has threatened to alter his high school grades so that he loses his scholarship to Brown if they don't win a district title. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Let's just keep tacking felonies on to you being a child endangerment.
You get what you want, I get what I want.
Child endangerment, practicing medicine without a license, giving opioid medication,
narcotics,
and alcohol to minors.
Yeah.
Now we'll do we'll just throw fraud in there. It's a big deal.
Just why I don't understand. What's the big deal? Why are we doing?
And in the first half, he's kind of going along with the game plan, and the running back gets hurt. Wendell gets hurt. He feels something pop, and you see Kilmer talking to the trainer with his back turned to the field, and he says, "Can you fix him?" And the trainer says, "If he'll let us," which at the same time bad on that trainer, but at the same time good on that trainer for being like, he has to consent to it. We still
need a yes or no, dude. We're not gonna like just.
We need the yes on tape. We need the yes.
Yeah, we're not gonna hold him down and pump him full of drugs.
Yeah, it's just wondering like, is this recording?
But if he says yes, we'll pump him full.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, then, so
and
they end up going into the locker room, and what is it, Gilmore, right? Yeah, Gilmore was a 4A school that dropped, or 3A school that dropped down to 4A. So they're like even more talented than East Canaan is, and they're just bigger, faster, they're dominant. But they're not completely out of it. They've got a chance if everything goes right. Yeah. So they go into the locker room and everyone's dejected, and Wendell's there hurt in the training room, and Mox like kind of sees and he busts in and he's like, "What's going on in here?" And it starts the whole the climax, the real moment, where he tries to shut the door in his face, and he's saying like,
Lance.
Yeah, he says, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Like, you don't have to do this. It's just a game. Like, it's just a game." And then he says, "You don't know what you're talking about." And that's when Lance busts through the door on his crutches. Says, "Yeah, but I do. Like, you ruined my career. You ruined my career. Like, you know, making me play hurt, and like, don't. It's not worth it. You'll heal up, and you can go do your thing. You know, like, you can move on after this. This is there's more to life than this."
Yeah.
And Tweeter is even in on it too, saying, you know, like, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it.
Billy Bob has the best line in it.
Go ahead.
If that needle goes anywhere near his leg, I swear on my mother's grave, I will rip your arms off and beat you to death with it.
Oh yeah. I believe him. He went full Wookiee on it, dude. He was like,
seriously. And then Mox, he says, like, if you don't leave right now, look, you're off the team. I'll throw you off the team. You know what? Get out of here. You're off. And he's like, fine, I quit. Like, I'm done. Starts walking away, and he says, turns to Tweeter. I don't think he calls him Tweeter. He calls him something.
He calls him Tweeter.
Tweeter, you'll take the snaps. And he says, no, I'm out too. I'm off too, coach. And then Billy Bob's like, me too. I'm out. And then he attacks Mox from behind. Coach Kilmer does, and he starts choking him.
Oh yeah.
On the training table, right in the middle of everybody, and you see it's like the cape falls away, the curtain falls away, and the demon comes out, the evil that's been inside all along.
Flare. The mind flare has come out.
Exactly. And he's choking him, and they pull him off, and Kilmer starts It's such a great scene that John Voight delivers right there, where he's so defeated and so broken, and he's trying to act like he's still Coach Kilmer.
Yeah,
He's
like
still
he's
on
still-
top of things, and he's like clapping his hands and let's go, all right, let's get back out there, let's win this game. All right, here we go, follow me. And nobody's moving. They're all just staring at him. And he goes out the door of the locker room, and he's still in the hallway, like, here we go, let's go. Come on now, here we go, let's go win this game.
No,
And I thought it was really cool because I saw an interview in my research for the movie where James Van Der Beek was talking about John Voight and how awesome of an actor he was and how much he learned outside of filming, because he'd be there with everybody, like all the guys, you know, Paul Walker and
Yeah.
Scott Conn and everybody. They'd be hanging out with James Van Der Beek, and he would call the other guys over and not call over James Van Der Beek, and to kind of create that rift between Kilmer and Moxon for the movie.
Yeah.
He was doing it outside of the filming, but then he said he would kind of give him a little wink so he knew that, like, this isn't it's not real. It's
I don't really
there's
hate
like
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
But and he would talk about that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, you don't want to create any semblance of kind of buddiness or like
Right.
Like
There's
we
got to
have
be some
an understanding.
awkwardness
Yeah,
from the very beginning of the shooting. Like
Yeah, method acting.
things are just off with us.
yeah.
Even when I'm normal, I'm not normal to you. Like
Mhm.
I'm not all the way with you. And then you get, this is James Van Der Beek's, like,
Yeah.
his moment in the
defining
movie
moment. He
that
nailed
should have overshadowed the "I don't want your laugh," but it's because the line was delivered so cheesily. That's why it's so famous. But he talks about, you know, how in the beginning of the game, Kilmer gives this rah-rah speech about, you know, this is 48 minutes for the next 48 years of your life, and you know, this is the moment, and basically creating that pinnacle of your life where everything is downhill after this. And Moxon just says, like, screw that. For
Yeah.
you know,
F
for the
that.
next
Yeah.
24 minutes, let's go out and play it for the next 24 minutes.
You know
We
what?
can't be afraid. Like, you can't play with fear. If you play with fear, there's too much riding on it. You'll play bad. You'll screw up, and then you have to live with it for the rest of your life.
It's
like
so
our
good.
fathers had.
It's so good. In honor of Van Der Beek, let's play
Yeah.
it, man. This is
R.I.P.
for him.
brother.
All right,
Miss
this
you,
is for him.
James.
This game started, Kilmer said 48 minutes, the next 48 years of our lives. I say, f that. Right? I say, f that. Let's go out there and we'll play the next 24 minutes for the next 24 minutes. And we'll leave it all out on the field. We got the rest of our lives to be mediocre, but we have the opportunity to play like gods for the next half of football. But we can't be afraid to lose. There's no room for fear in this game. And we go out there and we half-ass it because we're scared. All we're left with is an excuse. We're always going to wonder. But we go out there and we give it absolutely everything. That's heroic. Let's be heroes. Come on.
Dang, man.
And you get the second best slow clap after Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Tweeter. There's Tweeter. You can tell by his arms. Well, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a great speech for man. To have in his legacy of acting, that's fantastic. But I had a moment there when they kept painting to the guy who has the extra pads up on his shoulder. I kept thinking of, remember the time Baba Boucher came back in the fourth quarter, what drive mouth? Mud dog won the bourbon bowl, do you?
Mud dog won the bourbon bowl, do you?
I couldn't stop myself. But I was also, the second time I watched it, I kept thinking again. The first time I was like, what the hell is wrong with their little brother? I just kept going back to him, What is the point of him having and trying? He does Christianity, Judaism, I think he does Buddhism, and then he creates his own cult. And I had a thought about it earlier this afternoon. I was like, oh man, I wonder if his whole thing about exploring these other religions is that in this town, football is the religion.
Is the religion.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out, is that my religion? And it's funny how like the last line that his dad has to him is, stop all this religious stuff. You're young, you're healthy, you're gonna play football. That's all he says to him. And I guess he's like, all right, I guess that is my religion. But by unofficial conversion.
You get the buildup of at the last play of the game, Mox is calling plays from the line, and they're coming back.
You got Lance on the sideline, and he's coaching. He's calling plays, and they decide to do what every level of football has done since then, where they go from a running power team to 5 wide receivers, throw the ball like crazy, just go nuts.
What does he keep saying? The hoop-de-hoo? The oop-de-doo?
The oop-de-doo. The oop-de-doo.
The oop-de-doo.
We could have taken 5 more minutes.
That's what Kilmer called it when he called it in practice. He's like, "What's this oop-de-doo stuff you got going on?"
Well, he says, because he comes over and he says, "What the hell is this?" And he says, "It's the oop-de-doo." He says, "What the hell is a oop-de-doo?" And then in the same interview that he was talking about John Boyd, they said, "Oh, did you ever actually run the oop-de-doo like in your flag football games or anything?" He says, he said, have you ever played flag football? Pretty much every play is a oop-de-doo. But they have they start coming back and getting close to tying the game, and they need a blocked punt. They need to block a punt to give them a chance to score, to tie or win, or to win. And
my hero.
Billy Bob comes over to them and he says, "Put me in. We'll get there. Put me in. We'll get there."
We'll block it.
And
we'll block it.
They put Billy Bob in there, and he takes the lineman down, and Tweeter gets to the ball, and they have a chance. And what play did they run? The old hook and ladder. They run the old hook and ladder and Billy Bob, I love how both times that they try to run it earlier in the movie where he's like, "Is this where I just run down the field, look like I'm lost?"
Yeah.
And the first time it hits him like right in the hands, and he just drops it on the ground.
Tweeter's like, look, a ball. Maybe I should catch it.
Tweeter making fun of him. And then so they throw it down the field, and Billy Bob actually catches it. And then basically the entire Gilmore team jumps on his back. And he just keeps running until the one last guy flies in like a missile, and he goes down, but he's already in the end zone. And then this honestly is my favorite part of the whole movie, because he says, and we did it, we won. And Billy Bob cried, because he's a crier. And then it cuts or pans over, and Tweeter's got 2 beers on the field. And he's pouring beers into his mouth, and it says Tweeter drank beer because, well, Tweeter drinks beer.
Tweeter drinks beer.
Like, so funny. And then it talks about how he goes on to Brown, how Lance becomes a coach, and everything. Does it say what Wendell does?
He went to Grambling. He got his ride to Grambling.
Okay, so
I was going to say he filed a lawsuit.
Yeah.
For discrimination.
They literally, what they didn't show you was them literally lynching Coach Kilmer in the town square later.
Only because it's too freaking heavy to move.
They just literally duct taped Kilmer to his own statue and left him there to starve to death.
You couldn't tell me someone doesn't
in bronze. Kilmer's in the statue.
Oh, that's it. He's in the statue.
Like Wolverine when he dies in the X-Men in the adamantium.
That's it. He's the Wicker. He's the Wicker Man inside of there.
I know that's why the movie plays out, and it's cool to go for the win. But in a real Texas high school football game, you're kicking that field goal with no timeouts and 20 seconds left on the 20. You're kicking that ball, and you're playing overtime.
Were they just down by 3?
They were down. They were only down 3. It was 17.
Oh.
It was 17-14. They're only down 3.
I'll look at it.
Well, they're also not like they're kids.
Yeah,
and they're in charge now, so they're going for the win.
We're going for the big.
We're going for
We're going to win.
We're gonna win.
But now we have to say,
you're right. It was 17-20, so they could have gone for the field goal.
Yeah.
I didn't
or 17-20. But at the end of the movie, when Mox is done talking and saying what they were doing with their lives, there's 4 shadows representing Tweeter, Billy Bob, Mox, and Lance. And I just think, watching this movie now, given everything that's happened, it only one of those isn't a shadow anymore, which is pretty dark.
That's
and
insane.
crazy to think about, because unfortunately the actors who played Billy Bob, Lance, and
now Mox
are all gone. Tweeter's still alive, thank God. But
He drinks
it's
beer.
weird because this movie, especially when you look at Paul Walker, it's like your youth in a time capsule. And with Mox, there's a big theme around like unused potential, because he's actually this really good quarterback and he just doesn't want to play for Kilmer. He wants to do other things. And somebody like Lance, who it's like wasted potential almost, because you listen to this coach who ruined he was going to be an NFL quarterback. Apparently
ruined your body.
He ruined everything. He ruined his ride to college. He did all that. And then you look at Paul Walker's life. Again, it's tragic what happened. I'm not saying he wasted his potential, but you were seeing where his acting career was going. And then for it to be cut short like that is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Not that what happened to James Van Der Beek isn't super tragic and sad, but he got to live longer than Paul Walker did.
Yeah. Paul Walker,
but I don't know, that it was kind of crazy to think about when I was watching the movie, and I was like, oh man.
We can even get, if we ever do it, NostalgiaLand After Dark, we can get into some theories about some things. Da, 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 da. But for now, we'll leave it at these three actors. And Billy Bob died
liver
in 2019 or 2009, early on.
He struggled with like eating and things like that.
Yeah, the dude is enormous in this movie, and
he lost some weight, but he died in 2016. He was looking
2016
healthy,
he did a lot of
at his high,
did a lot of damage to his liver.
He was 508.
He had a drinking
508. Woo.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like the other day I saw this like vignette thing, this special on Yokozuna, the wrestler. He got to 700 pounds.
And the fact that he could still like walk around at that weight is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Smash people, dude. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's like
so it's super sad that that 3 of the 4 are gone. And I feel like, Tweeter, Scott Kahn, him and Paul Walker got really close filming this movie because they were the same age, kind of from the same area, and they had to move to Texas because they shot this movie in Texas. And they basically got like an apartment together, and they became really close friends till Paul Walker passed. They were very close. So, you feel for these guys. Like, these are real friendships of people who are gone now. And that's why we decided to do Varsity Blues in honor of James Van Der Beek, but also to honor Paul Walker's career and good old Billy Bob, for giving us such a cult classic, because that's what this movie is. I mean, there's some great moments and there's some ridiculously stupid stuff in this movie too. They're like that one, especially Lance's dad. Just go watch the movie for what an awful job. Like every time I watched it, I don't care what I was doing, I would stop to watch the scenes with how bad that this guy delivers everything. And all I can come up with is that's what the director wanted, because this guy's been in other stuff. I feel like he's always been kind of a minor character like that, but he's not this bad in everything that he said. And it's just like, oh my goodness,
they were doing
who told this guy?
You're doing it too good.
He delivers it great. And he's like, no, make it bad.
Dial it back in.
Crank it up. We need you to crank it up.
You ever seen Krusty the Clown?
Yes.
That's what I want.
I want you over the top stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now let's cut back to the mom. You don't sound drunk enough. You can do it. Nailed it.
Yes,
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Print. Cut, print.
So good.
Super fun. So yeah, definitely go, and if you have Peacock, you can stream it on Peacock.
You can get it on Pluto.
Okay, Pluto TV.
Yeah, watch
Pluto
with
TV.
ads.
It's free.
It's worth it, man. And Pluto TV.
It's a really fun movie. Just remember, if you're watching it with kids, there's a lot of taints and boobies and
get that
cussing.
fast forward button ready.
Yeah, there's a lot of cussing and there's some parts that you may not want to see as a male or as a female.
You don't want to see those.
But thanks so much for joining us. As Matt said in the beginning, check us out on YouTube. Please like, comment, ring that notification bell, subscribe, but most importantly, comment. We want to build a community. We want to give you guys what you want to hear, what you want to see. Remember, if you want shows, we're down to do that. We just need some more time to prepare for those so we can watch and refresh and stuff like that. But we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Share us with your friends, your family. Check us out on Instagram. Share our reels, the ones you love and the ones you hate.
Please.
We appreciate you very, very much. And until next time,
I'm Matt.
Trey.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga.